our method for the numerical model. 20 metre sprint. The way that we did our 20 metre sprint test was a lot different compared to how it should ideally be done, due to us being limited to the type of equipment that we had available to use. To do the test, we placed cones out at the start and at 5, 10, 15 metres and lastly 20 metres, so that we could see where each lap of the sprint needed to be noted down. The person taking the time and the intervals of the sprint stood perpendicular to the 10 metre cones so that we could see the whole of the 20 metres was in view. When the person began their 20 metre sprint, we started the stopwatch. Then, using the lap or the split button on our stopwatches, which were on our phones, we were able to press each time they passed every 5 metres, giving us a split time of their run, showing us how their speed changed as they passed through every 5 metre interval that we had marked out. As we manually timed the participants' 20 metre sprint, there was some room for error because everyone's reaction time is different, and where we were stood on the court would affect the person's perspective of the sprint, which could possibly have caused us to have a delay in lapping the sprint when the person passed each cone. However, the way that we ran the 20 metre sprint test was most suitable for us because of the equipment that we had accessible at the time. We were not able to go to any labs to do the test where we could have used the expensive equipment such as the light gates to help us measure each sprint interval. But this meant that we had to rely on our manual skills and things such as our phones to collect the data, which will always be less accurate than something which is being controlled within a lab circumstance. The vertical jump. Similarly to the 20 metre sprint, we were also limited to the type of equipment we could use for our vertical jump test. Ideally, we would have been best to use the force plates in the lab. However, as we couldn't access them, we had to use a vertical jump mat, also known as a taco jump mat, as other options were too expensive and complicated to use for the level of our knowledge. To do this test, each participant used a jump mat. At the start of each new person doing the test, we made sure to collaborate the mats so that all results went back to 0. Therefore, everyone's jump height scores were accurate and a reliable recording. Once the mat's digital recorder had been calibrated, the participants were able to do their test. To successfully complete the test, they had to fix a Velcro waistband around their waist and make sure that the string attaching it to the mat was taut. Once this was all set up, they had to bend their knees and jump using the power of their legs, but they could also have movement in their arms. Each participant took the vertical jump test twice, which allowed us to take the highest score that they achieved. As this wasn't the ideal way to do the test, we had to make the best out of what we had, and by following this protocol, we made it as simple and as fair as possible.